What's up everybody, Smyers here. Today I wanted to show you how you can use the filters in Serum to easily make your bass sounds more unique. All right, welcome back to the channel, and before I get started, please go ahead and make sure you are subscribed to my channel and go ahead and give this video a like. I've been working on some Serum presets recently, a new preset pack, and I've been using some of the filter options in Serum more often to get more of the bass sound that I'm trying to achieve instead of adding on like compressor, chorus, or just a bunch of other things like a bunch of different plugins to achieve the sound that I want. I've been just experimenting with using more of these filters I'm going to show you in the filter section of Serum. So I just have like a 16th note bass playing. It's not really a unique bass line, I'm just playing the same note. And I just have a saw wave, the envelope 1, here's the envelope 2. This is assigned to an MG-Low-24 filter. I can play around with this a bit more. Now if I go into this filter section, the filters I want to show you are these Flanges filters. That's going to be like these comb filters. FLG, that's flanger, phaser, and is the PHS. Now, I do want this MG-Low-24 filter to be on to still have that pluck bass sound, but let me just show you what these look like. So this phaser 48, I believe this plus, it is additive, and then this one is like subtractive. I'm not really sure what the plus and minus is. I think that this essentially flips the poles. 4 means you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 48, and then it like flips it. Maybe I'm not exactly sure what the numbers always mean. I think the H means there is, like on this one, let's do, I think there is a H. This one that is a high pass. So I'm adding like a high pass, and I think L means I'm adding in a low pass. So for example, this one, high pass and a low pass. So it's like high low pass width, I guess. Is that what that means? Anyway, it's not super important what all these mean. Mainly I just like how they sound. I like adding them after having a low cut pluck. You could have this on first and then have your MG-Low-24 filter or whatever it is that creates that pluck after it. So let's just bypass this. You could have that, but then if you play around with some of these other things, like if I increase this drive, you're not going to get that distortion because you're cutting it off afterward using this MG-Low-24 filter. So you could do this way, but what I'm going to do it this way where I have this MG-Low-24, and let's turn this back on. Set that up how I want it and remove that. Then in here, I can start adding in these filters. And sometimes this one's just grayed out. Versus it really changes up the bass a lot, and then I can adjust this pan and it gives it like a stereo effect instead of having to add on like a chorus or a pseudo stereo effect. And then I can adjust the mix. It's almost like I added on a distortion. So let's go through some more of these. Let's play around with one of these FLG filters. Let's do, I don't know, FLG, this one. And you can blend it in with this mix. I'm just exaggerating it a bit by having this mix at 100%. I personally, how I have been using these is I've been going through these phaser filters and using these as if I am just scooping out some of the frequencies to give because sometimes when you scoop out some of the bass frequencies, you all of a sudden get this beefiness. And I noticed it when you add on something like, if you ever used like a guitar amp bass plugin, a lot of times that's what these bass amp plugins do, and that's how you get this like scooped, I think that's what they call like this scooped bass, or like a guitar bass. And all you gotta do is just play around with these. I'm just scrolling through these, figuring out the sound that I like. And then so you can get some drive, you hear that drive coming through, but I'm not distorting this here. And I'm not distorting it on my master, so that's actually adding in some distortion without me having to add on this distortion. So then I can achieve the sound that I want without having to, because you are limited as to if you want to keep everything in Serum. So then I could add on an effect in here, like I could add on now downsample. Whereas if I had, and so then I have like a drive and a downsample. And then you apply up to here this with headphones. You can add this pan. Let's do it. You'll hear it really different when I put it to 100%. And that's literally just like panning the filter over. And if you pan the filter over, then you are essentially EQing the left and right side differently, which is going to make it feel stereo. So this is actually a great tool to use. You probably have not even thought about using this pan, but I would be careful with using it too much, because let's go ahead and let me just do let's see how this sounds if I put it into mono, throw on this utility plugin. And let me just do a span, make sure I'm not, see how much phasing I'm getting on here. So we're not like phasing it too much, because if you add on like a chorus, you're going to get a lot of phasing. Like, or even if I use, let's see, this hyperdimension. Actually, that's not too bad either. But it's just a way, like if you play around with this pan, you can get a stereo effect without having to add on like hyperdimension or chorus. As a reference, let's hear how it was before. I am adding a little bit of volume there, so let's take that down. And then I have this span on so you can see where it's scooping. It's scooping out that 300 there. And let me just move these over so we can have them both up. So that it almost sounds like I'm using a square wave instead of a saw wave. Anyway, that's really the only tip I just wanted to show you in this video, is to just recommend playing around with some of these filters in here, because I think that they can get you some interesting results. And then you also don't have to use this bass sound that I'm doing, so you could have more of a complex bass sound. Like, I don't know, let's just see what we've got. See if I can play one of these other bass sounds. All right, so here's one, like the Take It Off song by Fisher. And let's add on one of these Filters, let's do this phaser one. I like this one. I think that one sounds pretty cool. Like, changes it up. Anyway, yeah, just experiment with putting on this filter on any of your bass sounds. It doesn't have to be this fast of a bass. It could be any bass really. And hopefully that will help you come up with something interesting, or maybe it's just like a new way to think about approaching altering your bass sound in Serum, or altering any of the presets you have. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and give it a like, and also please subscribe to my channel if you are not yet subscribed. And if you'd like to check out any of my Serum preset packs, head on over to store.samsmyers.com.